Hello and welcome. My name is Maddie Mainman, and I'm the Senior Coordinator of Fellowship at the Chef Ann Foundation. Thank you for taking time to be with us today to learn more about the application for the 2026 cohort of the Healthy School Food Pathway Fellowship. Today, we will discuss what the fellowship program is and who the ideal candidate is. We'll demo the 2026 application, and we'll go over the timeline for the 2026 application and selection process. Finally, we'll go over some frequently asked questions that we've received over the last 3 cohorts. As many of you may know, the Chef Ann Foundation was founded in 2009 by Chef Ann Cooper, and we're dedicated to promoting whole ingredient scratch cooking in the schools. We believe that scratch cooking enables schools to serve the healthiest, tastiest meals so that kids are well nourished and they're ready to learn. Our mission is to ensure that school food professionals have the resources, funding, and support that they need to provide fresh, healthy, delicious, and scratch-cooked meals that support the health of children as well as our planet. We work with K-12 schools in all 50 states and some U.S. territories, and to date, we've helped more than 16,000 schools and 4.4 million kids eat healthier, fresher school meals. The Healthy School Food Pathway Fellowship is a part of our larger Healthy School Food Pathway program, which was created to strengthen the school food workforce by preparing individuals for job opportunities in healthy scratch cook school meal programs. In the first decade of our work at the foundation, we saw that having sufficient, and not only sufficient, but sufficiently skilled labor and leadership was often a key barrier to increasing scratch cooking in schools. And thus, our Healthy School Food Pathway programming was born. While the pre-apprenticeship and apprenticeship programs were created for entry-level employees who are looking to start a career in school food, the fellowship program is designed to develop the next generation of diverse leaders who are prepared to run sustainable, scratch-cooked school food programs and drive school food reform. The fellowship is a powerful program because cultivating strong leaders in school food will allow us to leverage our collective voice for healthy school meals, efficient scratch cooking operations, climate-positive food system solutions, and an equity-driven, valued workforce. At a high level, there are 4 key pillars to the fellowship. First, experience. Fellows will gain knowledge through firsthand experiences and interactive hands-on components, and they'll be able to apply key learnings to their own districts. Second, build. Fellows will expand their networks and skill sets while building on their past knowledge and expertise. Third, lead. Fellows will be ready not only to lead their own teams, but also to demonstrate strong leadership skills to district administrators, community members, and others outside of their programs. Finally, inspire. Through their experiences and learnings, fellows will understand the power and importance of school food within the larger food system, and will feel inspired and confident that not only is change possible, but that they can lead that change. So the fellowship is not just about gaining skills, abilities, and knowledge, though you certainly will do that, but it's also about cultivating a growth mindset about what is possible within school food and the role that you can play. These core pillars work together to make this 13-month program as impactful as possible. But don't take it from us. Here's a quote from one of our inaugural fellows, Nick Dramis. He shared, "About halfway through, I realized that the experience and knowledge I gained from this fellowship would have taken me 6 to 8 years to acquire working in school food." All right, so now we're going to dive a bit deeper, and we're going to go through each of the fellowship program components in turn so you can see what this program is all about. First up, a major part of the program is our live learning sessions. Throughout the fellowship year, fellows will go through about 30 live learning sessions that take place on Tuesday afternoons or evenings, just depending on where you're located. These live learning sessions cover a wide range of topics, and you can see them all listed on our slide. They cover everything from diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, to marketing, to policy and compliance. The fellowship begins intentionally with our diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging content so that all fellows have a shared understanding of this key concept and can apply that lens to the following content areas as they move throughout this 13-month program. Next up, each fellow will earn a silver certificate through our School Food Institute. The School Food Institute is a set of online courses developed by CAF that provide professional development and comprehensive training on the key components of successful scratch cook operations in schools. Fellows are able to choose from a variety of courses to earn their silver certificate. Fellows will choose 4 courses, and all fellows will take School Food 101. These courses are asynchronous, so fellows can learn at their own pace throughout the 13-month program. All fellows will also complete a series of asynchronous and live modules through Arizona State University's Sweetie Center for Sustainable Food Systems to understand the powerful role that school meal programs play in their local food systems. Now we'll get into the travel components of the program. Fellows will attend 2 site visits to school districts across the U.S., one in the spring and one in the fall. These host districts, have strong scratch cooking programs. Fellows will travel in groups to these districts, matched based on their learning goals and district similarities. This is a chance to see a program that is far along on our scratch cooking continuum, meet their team, and ask your questions in order to bring learnings back to your home districts. In addition to site visits, fellows will travel for 2 other on-site trainings throughout the fellowship year. The first trip is our Leadership Development Intensive, which will tentatively take place in early March of 2026. This is a 3-day training that focuses on leadership and coaching skills for change management to help fellows move the needle on scratch cooking in their districts. The Leadership Development Intensive is scheduled earlier in the year to give fellows a chance to get to know one another while exploring their scratch cooking goals. In the summer, fellows will visit the Culinary Institute of Child Nutrition for hands-on culinary training to learn key scratch cooking skills like recipe standardization, mise en place, knife skills, and more. In the fall, fellows will be paired in small groups to complete a group policy project. Each group selects the policy topic of their choosing that relates to school food. Each group will determine a research question, research their topic together, and present their findings and recommendation to their peers. Some examples of past projects include prioritizing time for school lunch, exploring the impact of the Virginia Food for Kids program, investigating recruitment and retention strategies for skilled school food professionals, and incorporating values-aligned local procurement into their school food wellness policies. Another key component of the program is the capstone project. This is the culmination of the entire year of learning. Starting in the spring, each fellow will examine their district and identify an issue that they want to work on to advance scratch cooking. They develop a project proposal, and once that's approved by both the Chef Ann Foundation and the Fellows District will receive a $5,000 stipend to support the fellow in implementing that project. Fellows will spend about 50 hours in their districts implementing their capstone projects. In the second half of the fellowship year, our live learning sessions will happen less frequently to create more space for fellows to focus on implementing their projects and creating change within their districts. The culmination of the program in January 2026 is our closing celebration. Fellows come together to share out on their capstone project, presenting on what they did and why it matters. Following our presentations, we'll have a graduation ceremony to celebrate everything that fellows have accomplished, all of their hard work throughout their 13 months of learning. Hopefully those program components sound like an exciting learning opportunity for you. And if so, let's talk about whether the fellowship might be the right fit for you. First up is eligibility. You must be currently working for a school food authority that operates the United States Department of Agriculture's National School Lunch Program. You should be in a mid to upper level position, like an area manager, head chef, or assistant director. And you should certainly share in CAF's vision for increasing scratch cooking in schools. So, if you are eligible, let's briefly review what you're getting yourself into. First, our virtual learning. Fellows must be able to access online courses, communicate regularly via email, join virtual live learning sessions on Zoom, and complete assignments using tools like word processors, spreadsheets, and slideshows. For our travel, which is required 5 times throughout the year for your site visits, leadership development intensive, culinary training, and graduation, TAF will cover all of travel expenses, but you must be able to reach an airport in order to join in on those in-person experiences. Last but not least, the fellowship is time intensive. It will ask a lot of you, but you'll get a lot out of it, including a powerful learning community within your cohort and alumni. Connections to resources and experts like the fellowship content leads who lead your instruction, host site team members, CAF team members, program alumni, and many other school food professionals who share your scratch cooking vision and will help you and your district to reach your scratch cooking goals. Now we're going to dive into the 2026 fellowship application and do a little demo of what you can expect as you apply. Now we've moved to CAF's grant portal. If you've not applied for a grant from the Chef Ann Foundation before, you'll need to set up an account for our portal, which entails signing up with your email and chosen password. Once you have an account, you'll log in and you'll see this page. From here, you can navigate to the Open Applications tab at the top of your screen. Once there, you can find the Healthy School Food Pathway application. Scroll a little bit, and there it is. So you'll go ahead and select Learn More, and you'll be taken to a new tab where you can learn a little bit more about the program. This information is a lot of what we've covered today, but please do read through this section in its entirety. Once you've read through everything, you can select Start Application in the upper right corner. From there, you'll be taken to a page that will discuss key program components and program eligibility. Please read through this in its entirety to ensure that you're willing and able to participate in the program as outlined. This page will only appear once, and once you move through the eligibility requirements, you'll be taken to the application sections. So assuming that you are eligible, you will check all of these boxes, and then you'll be able to move forward with the application. So I'm going to go ahead and select that I am eligible, read through all of this to make sure that you are eligible for the program, and you can also read through some additional requirements. Once you've read through this page in its entirety and determined that you are eligible, you will select Next to move on to the application. So this is what the application looks like. The first tab is General Information, and you'll see a couple fields populated based on your portal account, like your name. You'll also see a red asterisk next to some questions, and that just indicates that they are required questions. So this is general information on each applicant. And once you get to the bottom of the page, you'll see that you can save your progress, and you can also move between sections using these arrows at the bottom. You can also move between sections of the application by selecting the tabs at the top of your page. So the second selection will be on district information. So you can share a little bit more about your district, as well as about your role in the district. The next section is our questions section, which includes the short answer questions on our application. So this space allows you to share more about yourself and your school food ethos to let us get to know you as an applicant. In this section, you'll see suggested lengths as well as a character maximum. So once you start typing into the boxes, you'll see how many characters are left. We would recommend that you complete these short answer questions in a Word document or other word processor to ensure that your work is saved. After completing the short answer questions, you'll move on to the supplemental questions. This tab is largely optional, as you can see, but it does help us to better understand your background. Next is your video or personal statement. This is an opportunity for you to share more about yourself, your personal goals, and your approach to school food. You'll upload a file, and you're welcome to upload either a video format or written format. That's just based on whatever is most comfortable for you. Finally, you'll also upload your resume to provide insight on your work history. Then you're done. And an important reminder is to save your progress as you go. You'll see there's a save button at the top of each screen. So it's doing its thing, saving now. And you'll also see a save button at the bottom of each section. Please save often so that you don't lose out on any of your great work. Once you're ready to submit, you'll select Save and proceed to submission. If you click this button before completing all required questions, an error message will pop up. Please go back to each section and ensure that you've responded to all required questions, and then you should be able to submit. So you can see, because I haven't filled in the majority of this information, it's giving me a little error. Once you have filled everything in, you'll be able to submit, and you'll get a confirmation email that your application was submitted. If you run into any technical issues, please email us so we can help. We would recommend submitting your application 2 business days before the application closes on September 10th in order to leave time for any technical difficulties or questions. Now that you know what to expect with the application, we're going to quickly go over the timeline for the 2026 application and selection process. The application is open now, and it'll close on September 10th at 11:59 Mountain Time. On August 13th at 2 p.m. Mountain Time, we will host a live webinar with a panel of current and past fellows, as well as leadership from their districts. If you'd like to hear directly from participants, I encourage you to join. We will also share a recording with all registrants. After the application closes on September 10th at 11:59 Mountain Time, we will review all applications and let applicants know if they've been selected for an interview. Those interviews will take place in October, and we plan to notify applicants of their selection status in late November. Then, in January 2026, we will kick off our 13 months of learning, and we will close out with graduation in January of 2027. Now we'll go over a few frequently asked questions that we've received over the past few years, and you can read more of these questions and answers on CAF's website. If you don't see anything reflected here or on the website, feel free to reach out to us with that question. First, what is the weekly time commitment? The fellowship is an intensive program, so understanding the time commitment involved as you consider applying will set you up for success. During a typical week, fellows attend 1 live learning session, complete 2 hours of pre or post work, and spend 2 to 3 hours on asynchronous learning, like our School Food Institute and Food Systems Micro Certificate through Arizona State University Sweetie Center, as well as on project-based work for their policy and capstone projects. All of this comes out to about 8 hours of learning per week on weeks where travel is not involved. During our on-site trainings, we make the most out of our time spent together each day, typically spending 8 hours in training per day of travel. There will also be weeks where we have breaks in our learning, but on average, the time commitment comes out to about 8 hours per week. Next, is there a cost involved in participating in the fellowship? There is no cost to fellows or their district to participate in the fellowship. The Chef Ann Foundation wants this opportunity to be available to all who are interested and eligible, regardless of their financial situation. As such, all expenses for program-related travel and other necessary materials are covered by the foundation. Fellows will be required to have access to a computer and audio and video capabilities and internet to be able to engage with our virtual learning, and this is not covered by the Chef Ann Foundation. If this poses a burden to you, or if you have questions about this requirement, please reach out to fellowship@chefannfoundation.org. Next, we often get questions about whether or not this program is meant for you. In terms of eligibility, our baseline criteria is working at a school food service or nutrition department that is operating under the United States Department of Agriculture's National School Lunch Program. The program is intended for mid to upper level school food professionals, and successful applicants typically have experience in school food service as an assistant director, head chef, area supervisor, or other similar mid to upper level positions. We will also consider applications from individuals in a director level position if they're newer to the role, new to school food, and/or operate in a small district. So, if you are a school food service director who wants to convert their program to scratch cooking, if you're someone new to school food who wants to push their scratch cooking forward in their district, Or if you're a manager from a district that's already doing a lot of scratch cooking and you want to contribute meaningfully to that work, please apply. This program is for you. If you have any more questions, please reach out. We're happy to answer any questions you may have as you dive into the application. If the fellowship sounds like a good fit for you, I hope you'll head to our grants portal and submit your application to be considered for the 2026 Healthy School Food Pathway Fellowship by the deadline of September 10th at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time. Thank you for your time today, and good luck.